Welcome to another edition of Carnivore Bites. I'm your host, Jeff Sherman, along with Dr. Eric Lopkin. And there's a lot going on. One thing I really would like to talk about, we'll address first, is we had our live podcast on last Friday talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and a lot went on right after that little segment, didn't it? I can't say that it's attributed to us, but go ahead, Dr. Lopkin.
I wish it were attributed to us, but no, it's Elon Musk had tweeted that he felt Bitcoin was now overvalued, and with that one tweet knocked 10% off of Bitcoin's value. So that just went to really highlight what we were talking about, how this is just a speculative investment at this point, and there really is no intrinsic value in Bitcoin. It's just a matter of, speculation.
Well, that's the only thing I would say that, was intriguing to me because when you think about our currency, it's getting more and more cryptic as we speak. So, I mean, there's nothing backing that up as well. So, my overall take, I think it was funny, what happened, or interesting what happened. But I still, I believe in some ways if countries like the United States don't get their financial house in order, I think you're going to have the emergence of either other players or things like, the emergence of greater cryptocurrencies coming into play.
Again, it's possible, but at this point, and not just American currency, but currency all over the world, the only thing that gives it value is the faith in the institutions that are backing it.
100%, yes.
And there aren't many institutions backing cryptocurrency yet. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see how it all plays out, but there's been a lot of debate in terms of Tesla tying some of their fate into Bitcoin. And, he's always the gambler, so never count him out, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of counting out, Mr. Cuomo, sometimes, sometimes I learned this in business, like when things were going really well, Dr. Lopkin, I never boasted too much because what comes up invariably goes down. And I think the same thing is true with the stock value since we're just speaking of cryptocurrency, of the good governor's credibility. He was the rock star. They always juxtaposed him to the Trump briefing, and he was the man of insight and depth and intellect. Just a great guy, and too bad he wasn't president. 3 months later, could you comment on that, Dr. Lopkin?
Yeah, Andrew Cuomo's fortunes have definitely reversed. People are actually seeing him for the
bully,
but the creep, bully, moron that he is. Of course, a lot has come out about how he put people back in nursing homes and they died of COVID, how he covered up the number of deaths in New York in nursing homes. Now, on top of all of that, his former aide has accused him of having an environment of pervasive sexual harassment.
I'm really being honest and telling you that doesn't really surprise me. He seems like a bully, and bullies are people that engage in activities, not all the time, but inappropriate activities because they think, it's their way or the highway. And also, he's an entitled little brat as well. I mean, it's not like he had to work hard for his job, and I'm sure he went to an Ivy League school, but he's probably no genius either. But, I think it's really kind of funny.
For those listeners who may not be aware, Andrew Cuomo is, of course, the son of Mario Cuomo, who was a majorly powerful politician and governor of New York. And basically, Andrew Cuomo is the epitome of someone who was born on third base and thought he hit a triple.
No question, but also a little bit like his father, the amazing orator in terms of his ability to govern. Maybe a C minus, but he could talk like he gave during the conventions, he was, God, Sermon on the Mount in terms of governing New York. C minus, whatever. Better than his son, yeah, but No
Well,
bargain either.
I would give Mario higher than a C minus, but
Okay.
he
But his gift for the gab was certainly what got him into
absolutely,
overdrive.
yes.
So,
Yeah,
and
he
that's very
was a
interesting. We'll see how that plays. How do you think the press is going to handle this? He was the darling, like I was saying, we first opened up this little segment that, they always cut Trump and put him right on. Oh, Cuomo's doing his COVID update. He was the man of reason. What do you think they're going to do with this?
I honestly think the media is going to do their best to ignore the story. They don't want anything, why let the facts get in the way of a good story? There's a line from the old movie, Who Shot Liberty Valance? It's, when the legend becomes the truth, print the legend. And that's what the media is doing. Why let the facts get in the way of a potential Democratic legacy? And the fact of the matter is, the media is being caught over and over again right now, where they're failing to be able to cover the Democratic Party. It was really amazing watching CNN during the impeachment when the Republicans aired a video of all of the Democrats that had called for violence against the Trump administration. CNN was airing this live. They did not know the video was going to go on. And after the video ended, they were flabbergasted, trying to make excuses for the Democrats.
Well, speaking of excuses, there's the State of the Union, which is the obligation of the president, and it doesn't seem like it seems like it's being delayed.
Yeah, people are starting to notice that the State of the Union hasn't happened yet. An announcement was made, I'm not sure if it was late January or early February, that he would address the joint houses of Congress in February. February has come and gone. He has not addressed them, and people are starting to speculate that he is not capable of that kind of speech.
I don't think he is. I think it's an American tragedy, and I'm really being honest because there's a reporter who said, "Yeah, Reagan, was out of it, the last couple of years, but going into it, he was very much capable." This, you have someone going into it that's not exactly capable. That's a scary scenario.
It really is. Nancy Pelosi made a number of comments prior to the election about looking into, the constitutional right to remove a president.
Sure.
And everybody assumed she was talking about Trump. But it's becoming more and more clear that the Democrats put Biden in because they knew nobody was going to be voting for Kamala Harris. And they want now to remove Biden and put Harris in the chief executive seat.
Oh, boy. Well, you think she'll be successful?
I don't know if she'll be successful. I know there is a large percentage of the Democratic Party that does not support her, and they don't want her being president. So we'll see if the party will come together behind it. But I think it's really frightening that they deliberately put up a candidate that they knew couldn't do the job, and the media is not calling them on it. Nobody is saying anything about it. It is a blueprint for how to manipulate an election. And in fact, there was a podcaster, I just found out about this. There was a podcaster the other day that came out with a report. They went through voter registration rolls and found that a lot of these voters, now you don't know who the voters voted for, but in these heavily Democratic areas, these voter registration records were faked, and the addresses on them were in the middle of a street, parking lots, empty lots. Twitter banned the podcaster, even though he had absolute proof that these records were false.
Well, we live in a very dangerous time, obviously. Um, yes, and it's very apparent. Um, yes, Trump did not act presidential, but the election was stolen.
It really was. And more evidence comes out of this every day, and the media keeps hiding it, slapping it down, and they keep saying the discredited theory.
Yeah,
And the fact of the matter is, because they say that doesn't make it true.
agreed. Well, we'll be live. We are in the process of trying to secure an interesting guest, but we'll be live Friday, won't we, Dr. Lopkin?
We will. You can join us live Friday at 4 o'clock at blogtalkradio.com/carnivore radio, where you can call in and be part of the conversation.
Thanks for listening. Thank you, Dr. Lopkin.
We'll see you then.
You've been listening to Carnivore Bites, part of the Exvadio podcast network. You can catch us every week on carnivoreradio.com, exvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcast Store, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find podcasts.